How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now, I didn't want to leave you guys in the dark too much, as it is an international break and we do have a little bit of a 2-week break before that Game Week 5 deadline. So I thought I would get this video out quite early on, as we can kind of reflect and talk about Game Week 4 as it happens. I'll also be posting a wildcard draft video later on in the week, so stay tuned for that. And then the following week, we'll be talking about my team selections as well as the Game Week 5 preview, where we'll be talking about all the talking points going into Game Week 5 and the transfers that I'm looking at making. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you enjoy this video. So in this video, we're going to be going over the Game Week 4 review. I know it was quite a disappointing game week, and I know a lot of us scored quite low. Congratulations if you did score quite high. The likes of the Aguero captainers and the Vardy owners, and even those of you who had Abraham, congratulations. There were a lot of big scores, especially with that double Liverpool clean sheet. So if you did manage to hang on to your Liverpool defenders, another congratulations, as you do have that patience. I talked about it in my tips for the upcoming season. Patience is a virtue, and FPL usually rewards patience. I'm not saying that you should hold on to your Sigurdssons, even though he did get an assist this game week, but if you are patient with your players, they usually do get back into form. So that's just one thing to note for your Game Week 5 team, and for those of you who are considering the wildcard. But without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into the review. So as you can see, my Game Week 4 score was 49 points, well below the average of 57, and I know those of you who watched my team selection for last game week, I was quite confident. I was looking at my squad and thinking about all the points that I was going to be getting that game week, but then Anthony Martial was not past fit for his game, and it kind of went downhill from then. I was kind of forced into doing a transfer. I managed to transfer out Martial and bring in Mason Mount, a transfer that we'll look over and see if it did pay off or if it did kind of take a drop and we lost that free transfer out. The other thing to note is, as I spoke about on Twitter and on my YouTube community page, I was almost thinking about doing the transfer from King to Haller from West Ham for a -4 hit, a move that I was, as I said, was considering, as I was going to take the punt on Haller for his 2 fixtures against Norwich and Aston Villa, and then probably transfer him out for the likes of Ashley Barnes after Ashley Barnes does play Brighton, as his fixtures are looking quite nice after that. But I didn't make that transfer. I did inform you guys that I was transferring Mount, so hopefully that kind of was music to the ears of those of you requesting me to announce my transfers. I announced it when I made it, so hopefully that was pleasing. But let's get back to the squad. As I said, 49 points was quite disappointing. I actually didn't think it would be that bad, but it did see me drop about 200k places. We were just outside the top 100k come that deadline, but at the end of the game week, we are now 333,000th around there in the world, which is quite disappointing, but not a train smash. It is early on, and as I said, the points are quite closely related. I didn't think that 49 points would be that bad, but an average of 57 is quite high for a game week where a lot of us are disappointed. So that's just one we're going to have to take on the chin, and unfortunately it did see a red arrow, our first of the season. But let's get into how the team performed and how we can kind of talk about Game Week 4 as it happened. So in goal, as you can see, Matt Ryan, I spoke about him in the team selection video. Had absolutely no hopes for him, but he's still kind of disappointed. I was expecting him maybe to get 1 or 2 points, maybe a save point there, but I did expect Man City to absolutely demolish Brighton, which they did 4-0. I actually predicted on Super Brew 4-0, so I can't really be disappointed in playing Ryan. He did lose his 2 points, having conceded 4 goals, and he didn't manage to amass any save points, so he gets a big fat 0 there. Might as well have played Button with that 0 pointer, but I'm hoping that maybe Ryan can pick up a little bit more defensive form. I know Man City is a terrible fixture, probably the worst fixture to have in the Premier League, so if I have to play my goalkeeper against them, I'm not too disappointed that he comes out with 0 points. At least it wasn't a negative. Going into the rest of the defense, we have Lucas Dean, who managed to pick up a last-ditched assist. He crossed it over, having fallen over, and it managed to pick up Richarlison's head, who managed to header it in with a lovely header, and that gave Lucas Dean a nice assist points. He was on for another bonus point as well, which he received, so managed to amass 5 points. The defense was quite good this game week. I think a lot of us have been rewarded for our patience with these defenders and our premium options. The only one that kind of disappointed was Nathan Ake. With 1 point, I managed to have to play him as Greenwood was rumored to not be starting. He was not confirmed to not be starting. A lot of people were asking me how I got this early team news. It was just a little bit of a hunch. I didn't want to play Greenwood and have him miss out. There was a bigger chance of Greenwood not starting than maybe Ake not getting a clean sheet. So I thought I would just play Nathan Ake. A little bit of a last hurrah. I don't think he'll be playing for me ever again. So that Bournemouth defense is absolutely atrocious, but I can't blame anyone but myself as I did bring him in. So managed the 1 point. I thought there was always maybe the chance of him getting a header, as he is usually quite good off set pieces, but no, managed to lose his clean sheet and 1 point down the drain. So in the other defenders, we have Robertson and Zinchenko both picking up 6 points. Robertson again in a little bit of a shadow to the likes of Van Dijk, who is 0.5 cheaper, now 0.4 cheaper as Robertson has dropped in price, but the main shadow is Trent Alexander-Arnold. He looks to be in amazing form and just a better attacking option. As I said in my preseason kind of videos, I said that if Trent was guaranteed spots, then he would be scoring a lot more points than Robertson, and it does look like he's nailed that spot down, especially with the likes of how Liverpool are playing. It seems that they are very fullback orientated, so that does look like good news for Robertson for the future, and I'm hoping a little bit of patience pays off with him, and I'm sure an assist is in the works for our upcoming game weeks. With Zinchenko, again happy that he did start. Obviously there has been rumors that Cancelo might be playing soon, but it looks like Zinchenko will be hopefully playing the left back spot until Benjamin Mendy comes back, so something to just monitor this international break. But 6 points, a lovely clean sheet. As I said, Man City kind of demolished Brighton, so not many bonus points for the defenders as there were a lot of goals scored. Now going into our transfer, which was Martial to Mason Mount, I just thought I would take a little bit of a punt on him, and Chelsea look to be in better form, and Mount is in even better form. He's getting a lot of shots on target and creating a lot of chances for his teammates. Unfortunately against Sheffield United, was not involved in those 2 goals for Chelsea and managed to lose that clean sheet point as Sheffield United mounted a comeback in the second half. But with Mount, I'm hoping that he can maybe pick up some form again and pick up some returns against Liverpool and Wolves coming up. And then after that, he has some very nice fixtures, so I'm willing to hold on with Mount. The stats back him up, so I'm willing to back him as well. Then we have De Bruyne, our #1 player of the game week. He scored in something ridiculous like the 2nd minute with a lovely reverse pass almost from David Silva, and he calmly finished it. But De Bruyne looks in great form, managed to pick up the goal finally. It's a pity it wasn't last game week, but I'll take it this game week. Obviously those of you who captained, was a great captain option, one of the best. He did pick up a lot of bonus points as well, so 2 bonus points. The person who picked up 3 was Aguero, who scored even more points than him. So De Bruyne looks like he's in great form, and I'm really happy that I managed to pick him up over in game week 1, and I'm sure that he's going to be returning us with massive amount of points from now to the end of the season. Then we have Mo Salah, who managed to pick up an assist, 6-point appearance. Mane picked up about 8 points, so it wasn't too much in it come this game week 4. It's going to be interesting to see how those two kind of compare over the upcoming game weeks, but I was just happy Salah managed to get a return, and I'm hoping in the next fixtures upcoming he should be scoring a lot more. Then we have Sterling, our captain, who managed to blank. Not really a blank, as he did pick up that clean sheet point. But if you were to tell me that Man City would win 4-0 and Sterling would pick up no assists or no goals, I would probably put money against you. One of those unfortunate weeks where we simply just weren't lucky. Sterling could have had an assist, but I think that probably wouldn't have even been enough, having scored 4 goals, Man City. So a little bit disappointing, but it's just one of those game weeks. The interesting thing to note is that basically since the start of this season, the captaincy choices have always been switched. So first game week we captained Salah, then Sterling returned, and now we captained Sterling and Salah returns. I know there's not much in this captaincy, but in the previous game weeks it's kind of been like that. So next game week when Sterling has Norwich, I'm also almost considering captaining Salah, as it looks like the wrong choice almost is always the captain that returns. Going into attack, we have King and Pookie, who another disappointing forward display from King. Bournemouth don't look like they're at their attacking best, which is one of the reasons why I'm looking at getting King out of my FPL squad. With Pookie, he can't score every game week, guys, so just calm down a little bit. I know he probably won't score in the next game week as well against Man City, but he has returned in the first couple game weeks, so we can't be too mad at him. I mean, if Sterling isn't scoring every game week and he's about 12 million, Pookie can have every game week so off and off, as well as he comes in at about 6.8. So I'm perfectly happy with Pookie not scoring this game week. It would have been nice if he did. I think West Ham was kind of the fixture. We were expecting him to score between Chelsea, West Ham and Man City. So it looks like we're going to have another disappointing game week next game week with Pookie not scoring. But I think after that, he looks like a set keeper for the rest of the season. And I'm hoping that he can kind of regain this attacking form, even though he's probably not even lost it. So on the bench, not much to talk about. Lundstrom, Greenwood and Dendoncker. Best option would probably have been to play Dendoncker over Ake, but he had picked up a little bit of a knock, so I was a little bit worried about him. But there wasn't much in it between Ake and Greenwood. I could have played either of them, even Lundstrom. So I just wanted to cover, as I said after this review, a little bit of talking points about the game week, as there's been quite a lot of discussion about certain things that happened. The first one is the injury to Laporte for Man City. I think a massive loss for Man City, and I'm really hoping that he does return quite soon, and it's not a season-ending injury there. It looked like it was a little bit of an ACL injury, but I might be wrong there. But I am hoping that he can kind of regain some fitness over the international break, and then a new assessment can be made by the Man City medical team, and then we can get a better indication come that game week 5 deadline. But I think that it almost helps Zinchenko's case a little bit, as I think that they'll move Kyle Walker to centre back, as I think John Stones is a little bit injury prone, so Kyle Walker may be a little bit of a safer option there, and I think then Cancelo will play at right back, leaving Zinchenko at left back. Obviously Benjamin Mendy is one to watch. I think over this international break we've got to monitor that situation and see if there's any more training pictures of Benjamin Mendy. I know that he has returned to Man City's training ground and is training, so I think we've got to wait for that press conference with Pep Guardiola, because I think if Benjamin Mendy is ready to go, I think Pep Guardiola will probably play him every game or so. I know Zinchenko has been playing a little bit better now, so hoping that he can keep his spot, but I think that it's a no-brainer that Benjamin Mendy will come back in that squad when he is fit. So one to look at, but I'm quite comfortable keeping Zinchenko at 5.5, easy to switch around with a couple of other players, so that's one to kind of keep our eye on this international break, and hopefully a transfer that I'm not going to be having to make come game week 5. The other one I wanted to note is the whole Salah versus Mane situation. I know those of you who watched the Liverpool game or have seen over on Twitter, Mane lashed out aggressively at the coaching staff and other players when he was substituted, mainly due to the fact that Mo Salah was a little bit selfish in that Burnley game and was not passing to his teammates even though they were in better positions. It's just something that I think in football sometimes happens. I think that it's almost better for us Salah owners, as Mane was never an assister. I remember in previous seasons he's never been high up on the assist rankings, where Salah gets the odd assist here and there, especially if he does win a penalty. So with Salah, I think it's almost a little bit better for us, as I think that now that Mane has made a scene about it, Salah's going to be looking up for his teammates and that assisting potential a lot more. And the thing about Salah is he always gets in the good positions, but sometimes just takes a shot on when it's not on. And I think that if he can pass it to a teammate, he's going to be racking up those assist points instead of that on-target shot, which is only better for us FPL managers. And as FPL managers, we shouldn't be looking too much into this, as we always want the selfish player in our squads. It sounds bad, as it's probably bad for the team they're playing for, but in FPL, selfish equals better, and we always want a player that shoots on goal and kind of takes their chances for themselves. So I'm perfectly happy kind of the Mane Salah saga going on. I think that's going to only be better for us, as it shows that a real desire and hunger for goals this upcoming season. So I think that they're going to be scoring loads of FPL points, and that's only better for our squads, as I said. But otherwise, this is going to be it from me for this video. Stay tuned for a wildcard draft come the end of this week, and then next week stay tuned for the team preview as well as the game week preview, where we talk about all things game week 5. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you're new, and leave any comments down below if I don't get to you. I'm sure a member of our lovely community will. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter at DayvyFPL, and I'm going to be signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.